Here we are. Here we are. What a great way to start.
Let's do
Hello.
it.
Yeah, for anybody that's watching this after the fact, this is TPN After Hours. We stream this every other Wednesday, starting at 10 Eastern Standard Time. Typically goes to around midnight. So if you happen to be watching this on YouTube or whatever after the fact, feel free to join us live. It's all about conversation and just chatting it up about pinball, trying to get chat involved, and we'll see where tonight goes. But real quick, we'll do introductions. Feel free to introduce yourself and what kind of media you produce, and then what was the last game of pinball you played. Craig, if you want to go first.
Sure, I'm Craig Bobby. I do the news for the Pinball Show, the Stern News specifically. I'm the Stern News correspondent for the Pinball Show with Zach and Dennis. And you can hear that, I guess, on the Pinball Network podcast that is broadcast every Monday generally. Although we
Nice.
missed a week last week, but we took a week off. But we'll be back this week.
Yeah. No, it should be a good time.
And yeah, the last game I played, I actually did play Rush. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit more on the stream, so I won't go into detail about my thoughts on that, but I did get my hands on that, and it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun with it.
Awesome. So that you're saying that's the last game you played, or yeah?
That was the last game I played. Yep.
Sweet. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Craig. Mike, what do you got for us?
Hey everybody, I'm Mike. I am part of the Pinballers stream team, I guess. I don't know. We stream on TPN on Tuesdays, and then we have our own schedule on our own channel as well. And the last game I played actually was Godzilla, but there was only one game. I've played a lot of Rush today too. So
Yeah. And we are going to pick your mind on that for sure. Yeah, I knew, with Rush and everything around Rush, I knew I needed to get my two, Canadian correspondents here to to enlighten us as much as we can. Pinball Daddy, hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here tonight. But yeah, chat, if there's anything in particular you guys want to talk about, we're all in. Howdy, fellows. Joel, your mic is low compared to Craig and Mike. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. I can definitely... There we go. Is that any better? We will... There we go.
Tom play Rush.
Did Tom play Rush? That probably is way loud now. Tom has, as far as I know, Tom has not played Rush yet. There you go. Okay. So we will lock that in. Who's your pinball daddy? Yes, that's a great question. All right. How's that? Is that level any better? Yeah. We're trying to, this whole chatting thing between a new streaming setup with multiple platforms. I got a new mixer. We're really trying to figure this all out. So hopefully the balance there makes sense. Yeah, we'll just dive right into Rush. And I'm actually going to start with Craig because I know he's put in less time than Mike, and Mike can fill in all the gaps. But Craig, you have played Rush. What were your kind of your initial impressions? What stood out to you? Yeah, give us that initial summary.
So I've been fighting with I'm still trying to place in my mind where Rush sits in the hierarchy of music pins these days. And I suspected, based on the streams that I've seen prior to playing it, that I was going to place this fairly high up in the pinball music hierarchy. And I gotta say, I don't know if it's because it was, the newest Stern title, but after I played this game, I gotta say, I was shockingly surprised at how fun it was to play, and I think it's going to be right up there near the top in terms of fighting with Iron Maiden or Metallica for one of the best music pins that Stern has made, and maybe one of the best music pins that the pinball world has seen. I thought if we kind of break down the various categories, is the art better than Iron Maiden? I would say no, but it's damn good. I'd say, is the layout better than Iron Maiden? I'd say that still remains to be seen. I found the game, and I'm sure Mike will back this up, quite flowy. I, there were a couple of that one dead end shot on the pro, maybe isn't that flowy, but I thought for a board game, this thing was pretty damn flowy. The theme is a bit of a toss up depending on your music taste. So if you're a huge Iron Maiden fan, you're gonna disagree all day on that. But I think musically, for most people, Rush is more approachable than Iron Maiden. Um, and so I think at the end of the day, Rush, though, has an intangible that Iron Maiden does not. And that is Rush is extremely fun. The call outs are extremely fun. It has a campiness and quirkiness about it that I think is extremely enjoyable versus Iron Maiden, where you're really battling the beast all the time, and it's a much more intense, as most Elwyn games are, it's a much more intense feeling when you're playing it. So I left um, playing Rush feeling like I wanted to just keep playing it. It had that
Nice. Yeah.
has that one more play vibe about it all day long. The balls are extremely fast. I thought the ball times are quick generally. The shots, there's no real gimme shots in this game. They're much tighter than they look on stream. That center ramp is not a gimme shot by any means. At least it wasn't for me. So I think everybody will be pleasantly surprised at and shocked at how fun this game is.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I think that's cool that you're saying Rush was there was like a quirkiness to it, or fun. And the more that I read or like see about this band, I feel like that band in general is just known for its kind of quirkiness and kind of funness to it. So that's exciting to hear that they kind of brought in that type of feeling to the game. One thing I will, before you go, Mike, Travis once again was supposed to be our fourth person, and yeah, Travis had to back out again. His wife was feeling sick tonight, but Travis did play Rush today. He went and played it. So this was his review. He just said Rush is legit. That's all he said. So I said, you played it? He goes, yes. I said, solid review. He said, thank you. So then he waited a little while. He said, the front scoop shot for me is nearly impossible. And I don't know. That's funny because that's like kind of, Mike is kind of shaking his head. So I'd be curious.
Yeah.
We'll go into that more. But he said the front
Tricky.
scoop shot is nearly impossible. Sideways was way easier for whatever reason. Two Tort Tim Lee, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, Drew sucks. And then and then Stoltz, yeah, Jordan, sorry man that you got to pause your show. Sorry, buddy. What else did Travis say? He said points can pile up quickly if you align the records correctly. And he said the end target was probably the only thing I didn't really enjoy about it, but it's not a deal breaker. Premium will be awesome, is what he wrote. So there's Travis's review in a nugget. So Mike, you've actually put actual time on this. You streamed this last night. So everybody that's watching this tonight, the Pinball Network, if you check us out, if you're whatever you're watching us on, check out last night's video. Or go to YouTube and save it for later or something. But yeah, Mike and his family actually played it last night, so you'll have actually some more hands-on experience. But Mike, you were shaking your head. How about you just dive in on that? You were shaking your head on the scoop. So you're saying?
I agree with everything Craig said. So I mean, I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but Travis talking about specifically that scoop. That scoop
right there
is very, 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 very tight. Most of the time when I hit that scoop, it's like rattling down the scoop very slowly. It's a very tight shot. The upper scoop is probably almost twice the size, and the ball actually goes into that scoop quite often just by fluke from bouncing around the upper part of the play field, hitting that dead end shot. A lot of the times, depending on how fast it comes out of there, it'll come down and land in that scoop.
Oh,
at least on
mine
it has. It'll trickle down and fall into the scoop, and it always kicks out of the bottom scoop there. Yeah.
So
and
would it be appropriate? Would it be almost smarter to think of like, if I need to hit the scoop, I should probably hit this left orbit, hold the flipper up, and go in this side? And then just
you don't get the same reward there.
Oh, it's not. No. So it's like these are very much treated as separate shots.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
so
wow.
the right ramp, if you look at the right ramp there, there's the two green inserts with the light lock.
Oh, yeah,
So
the targets, yeah.
that's to light your lock for I believe it's Far Cry multi-ball.
Okay,
And that's where you see the green lights over the scoops here. Hitting the two targets will light that upper scoop for your first lock.
okay.
And then you have to light your other locks, and then both of them will light up, and you can start your multi-ball in either of the scoops, I believe. I don't know if it makes a difference which scoop you put it into, but both scoops, I believe, will start your multi-ball.
But like this question mark, I'm assuming that's
That's a
for
mystery. Yeah,
mystery,
you
but
get that from
you have to hit the front scoop. Like you can't.
yeah, yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
So
You
it's
have to hit that. Yeah, you
you
have to hit
can't
the front
cheese it.
scoop.
You can't cheese it at
No,
all. And I mean,
no.
it looks like there's two posts. So when you're saying you miss it, you're what, hitting the post and it's just going wherever, or
Well,
what?
it's open. It's open. It can roll in from either side as well.
Uh-huh.
But you can see there's a little black post to the left of it. If you miss the scoop, it's going to hit the post and then likely
Yeah.
go either left or right somewhere and
Or
get
coming
out of
back. Yeah.
control.
Coming
Mhm.
back at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I see. When I look at this play field, to me, I just always assume every shot between, about here and about here is a gimme. You're like the middle shots you always feel are somewhat safer. Or like
Yeah,
those are the shots that people are going to hit. And
yeah.
so that really surprises me now.
You'd
I,
think so, but I'm
Yeah,
telling you that up the pop, between getting between the pops there is a tough shot.
yeah.
They're all tough. Like I'm telling you, there's no easy shots on this playfield. It
There's
looks like you
oh,
should be
something.
able to,
Yeah,
but you
there's something with
can't.
the pop bumpers and shooting a ball between them on Iron Maiden. I have a hard time with that ramp. It's like it gets in my head. It's the pop
Mhm.
bumpers being there, and you got to hit it perfectly clean because if
Mhm.
you just miss it to the left or right, the pop bumper's gonna fire and knock your ball out of the way too.
Yep.
so another review here. So Zach Mini, he actually has a pro. He has a pro, and I think he's filming a bunch of content probably for flipping out and straight down the middle right now. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, how's Rush?" He said, "Lot of good. Shots are good. Music's good. Still learning rules. Not as hard as some Borg layouts, but still a challenge." He said, "There are a lot of multi-balls, but, I think we people have expressed that, right? That there are a lot of multi-balls, but the
Yeah.
question is, does the code make sense for that, or what's the reason, or how do we, navigate around those or use
Yeah.
those?" But he did say a lot of multi-balls, and he said the bottom right flipper doesn't feel like you have a go-to shot on the pro, and I'm assuming that's just because, like, what's lined up with this bottom right flipper, I would guess would be this, the VUC or whatever on the premium, but I don't know. What's your thought there, Mike? Bottom right flipper.
Bottom right flipper, yeah. The bottom left flipper does seem to have more important shots on it, but the right flipper, and a very important shot is actually that magnet in the middle. There, I mean, you start multi balls that way. You start your modes, you
The
collect
washing
albums,
machine.
you collect combo jackpots, multi ball jackpots. That's how you make progress to your multi ball. So that is an important shot. You can hit that with either flipper. But I will say that shot on this picture looks easier than it actually is to hit
Mhm.
Yeah,
in the game.
yeah.
It's not a it's quite steep too. It ramps
Mhm.
right up quickly. And that shot to the left is
Yep.
probably
The VUC.
the dead end shot or the VUC on the premium and
Yeah, yeah.
LE is probably the easiest shot in the game, I think. It's
Oh,
pretty
Mhm.
wide open. Yeah. That for me, that's the easiest shot in the game.
yeah. I mean,
It's
it's the
pretty
exact
wide
same.
open,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of forgiveness in there. Once you get it on that rail, it'll kind of guide it in there for you.
Yep. Yep.
So one thing I remember seeing during the stream is there are a few times where this magnet is turned on and it almost seems like that ball like gets sucked into it, like it like
Mm.
helps you. Did you ever experience that, Mike, when you were playing the other night?
The game, yeah, the magnet will actually fire your ball up behind it, or even back down towards your flippers too.
So there are modes or there's situations where it's
Y- y-
rejecting or no?
yes, I don't know if it's rejecting or if it's meant to do that
Okay.
because I
All right.
haven't been able to figure out the reason why it's doing it because it's sort of random. But there might be a reason behind it. It might actually be meaning to kick it downward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait. If Ray Day hops into chat later, we'll have to ask him about it if there's
Yeah.
anything coded in for that. But what else? This upper loop. How's that feel? You know, and can either of you
Really
guys
fun.
can you compare that to any shot, any other shot on any
Well,
other game?
I mean, it does feel a lot like the Hawkeye shot on Avengers, that's for sure, but
Okay.
just in reverse. It's actually easier to hit this ramp, I felt like, on Rush versus the Hawkeye shot on Avengers. That Hawkeye shot, for whatever reason, looks like it should be dead easy, and there's something just so wacky about that shot that doesn't allow you to hit it cleanly every single time. It's so frustrating. But but this one is much more, you can string together a number of loops on there, which is really fun to
Nice.
keep hitting that thing over and over again, which is fantastic.
Look, we didn't even have to say his name 3 times, and here's Ray
There you
Day.
go.
Raymond
Easy
Davidson,
answer for
everybody.
you.
So anybody
Here we
watching right
go.
now, Ray Day Pinball is Raymond Davidson. He is I think he said his title is Wingman. So Tim Sexton and Ray Day are basically coding this entire game. So if you guys have any questions at all, Raymond is your man. And yeah, check him out, by the way. Ray Day Pinball. He does
Mhm.
amazing streams, awesome tutorials. I mean, he is the #1 ranked pinball player in the world. So Wild Dog, thank you for the raid. 10 viewers coming our way. So Wild Dog, appreciate you. So what did he say? Right now, when you shoot the time machine with nothing else lit, it advances your time machine multi-ball. In this case, it will throw the ball back at you to simulate bashing the time machine on the premium. Nice. That was so. Raymond and Timmy did a great podcast with Loser Kid. So Josh and Scott at Loser Kid, and that was something that Josh or I forget who asked, but it was like, how do you balance the code between the pro and the premium, you know? And they're basically saying, you know, it's really hard to simulate, like for example, like a spinner. You know, you would never, if a spinner's on one version but not on the other, like you don't want to simulate that like how would you do that and it would feel the same. So I was curious about how on the premium, the fact that it goes up and down, how that they would handle that. And that's Ray Day. I mean, that's really creative. So instead of having a physical metal wall rejecting your ball on the premium, they have basically, so instead of this ramp on the premium here going down and then having a physical wall you're bashing the ball into, they're saying they're powering the magnet in a way that it is rejecting. It's rejecting your ball and causing it to come back at you. That's smart.
Is that with the ramp down, Joel?
Well, that's what he's saying. Is on a pro, the ramp doesn't move. So on a pro, the ball is rejected or pushed back at you. But on a premium, the ramp would just be down. So you're going to hit that metal wall anyways. Did you figure out what's wrong with your left flipper? Yeah, Mike, feel free to fill us in on that event.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was the coil sleeve wasn't actually the right size. It was probably 2 millimeters too short. So what the coil sleeve is supposed to come out through the bottom of the coil and support the plunger, and it was just flush. So I just swapped it out with one that I had, and it worked fine after that. So
yeah, and that was we have to give props in our TPN Discord. Matt Morrison from his pinball interviews, he threw that out just as a random. He goes, hey, check this, because I think he said on his Godzilla upper flipper he had the same issue where there was a coil sleeve that was too short, boom, there it was. I don't.
Yeah, and I never would have thought to look at it, but when he mentioned it in the Discord, I thought, well, you know what? Before I go changing coil stops and doing all this stuff, I'll grab the other coil sleeve out of the right flipper and compare them, and they were definitely different. So once I swapped them out, I was able to play it no problem. So
you were in,
yeah,
awesome. Just while I'm thinking about it, one of the other nuggets that I heard from the Loser Kid podcast, which I definitely recommend if anybody's watching this and they haven't listened to the Loser Kid podcast, give it a shot. But one of the other things that Timmy dropped was the challenge modes, you know, like in Avengers, when you hold the flippers in before you start, you can go to black order, multi-ball, or you know, Turtles has half shell challenge. Well, Timmy said there's going to be 3. There's going to be 3 challenge modes in this game. And I think they're all, one of them is that song that's 20 something minutes long. So like that has its own mode. And then there's another song or something in this game that there's like 2 parts to the
Yeah, so there's Cygnus
Yeah, Cygnus,
X1
That's
and
what it is.
X2, right? Yeah.
So it's
and
both of
those
those.
two I think are I think those two are like the sort of mini wizard modes or
Yeah.
co-wizard modes
Mhm.
because they're in that little area where all the other modes are. And well, we haven't gotten there yet, so I'm pretty sure it's either the end of the game or close to it.
Yeah, which is awesome. So I'm all for, like, I love challenge modes. I love the ability to, when I go to play the game, you know, let's mix it up. Let's try to play it in a different way. So that's awesome. So three additional things you can mess with at the beginning of the game is pretty sick. But yeah, so Mike and Craig, no pressure. I mean, Raymond is here in chat, but I kind of thought it would make sense to just kind of break down. I mean, I watched the stream, but it's still trying to wrap my head around some of these rules. You know, Mike or Craig, is this game in production now? Amazing Blue, yes, absolutely. This game is being produced. I know there were delays. Now, whether or not the LEs are being delayed, I don't know. But yeah, Mike just pointed to his rush behind him. So I know they've absolutely done at least a small series of pros to get out to some people in some arcades, but I don't know the status of the LEs. I don't know where they're at yet with that.
I thought, I had a funny thought about that because interestingly on this particular release, I wonder because Stern typically will send, like you said, Joel, a small run of pros initially to get out to operators.
Yeah.
But in Canada, there really aren't that many operators. Even in big city centers like Ottawa, where Mike is, or Toronto, where I am, you might have one or two operators out there, and they're not even open right now. So weirdly, when Stern sends out titles, or when sends out these runs, and let's say, Canada might get, I don't know, I'm just pulling out a number here, maybe 10 to 15 to 20 max, I'd say. I'm gonna guess 15, right? Well, I bet 90% of those went to homeowners because there's no one
Who are the
open.
operator?
So yeah, there's no operators that are functioning these days. So I bet most of those went to homeowners, and I'm sure that's how Mike was able to get one. I know Jeff Teolis is down for one. He was saying he was expecting his this week as well. So you can see that, ironically, in Canada, because we're smaller, that first run of pros actually will hit homeowners versus just operators.
Yeah, interesting.
Whereas in the US, I think it's still probably limited to mostly operators, I would say, for these pros.
I just assumed they were being kind to Canada because they know this is your pin,
Well, they should.
It's Rush, it's Canadian.
They should honestly just divert all production to Canada until we're completely satisfied, and then we say, okay, that's enough.
Zexy, I think you're right. LEs they're probably still delayed. KO Spectate, yes. Yeah, Carter was crushing it last night on stream. So, but that's pretty typical. Carter's like really good at what he does.
Yeah. He's not bad. He likes to remind me of that.
It's his PE class right now, right?
Yeah. Well, that's his physical activity what he's getting right now. Yeah.
And then Lucas, did Tom go to sleep? Tom is surprisingly not on the stream tonight. And I think we're gonna see if we can make it through without hearing from him. But I'll tell you what, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun last week. So, with Ray Day, while Ray Day's still here, this was my thought was, Mike, if you want to just go ahead and break down, like, all right, you're gonna start a game, skill shot. Is there one? What are you looking for? And then what are you like? Where are you starting? What are you trying to do initially? What's the goals here? And obviously we got Raymond here to correct us or ask questions. So yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of corrections being done because I'm still learning the game. But as far as I know, I don't know about any secret skill shots.
Okay.
But you do want to short plunge to the upper flipper.
So short plunge. I'm assuming if you hold the left flipper, it'll go all the way around. Otherwise,
there's no stopper up there at all.
Yep.
No stopper. It'll go all the way around. Actually, one thing you can, I'll explain that after. So you're going to short plunge to the upper flipper, and then the large scoop the side ramp and the side loop, I believe, are all lit for skill shots.
Scoop, ramp, or
Yeah,
this. Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't quite know which one's more valuable, but I do know if you hit the loop,
Yep.
the other shots will stay lit.
Okay.
So you can sort of improve on your skill shot if you hit one of the other shots. It'll give you the typical extra ball save time, stuff like that.
Do you?
But
I'm just trying to think. If you hit the loop here, well, the divert, like, that's what I'm thinking. The diverter could be up or down, right? So depending on where the diverter is, that's either going to go to your right or left flipper. So that's why I was curious if you did like a loop to a ramp, and then it feeds a flipper, and then you have another shot, like a 1, 2, 3 skill shot kind of thing.
So far, I did not see another shot after that.
Okay.
Once you hit the loop, hit the ramp, nothing else is lit.
Got it.
So if there is something else, maybe it's a secret skill shot, and I don't know about it or whatnot.
It's actually 6 shots in a row. It spells Ray Day, and it's hidden in there. You got to find it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there either are or probably going to be putting more sort of secret skill shots or super skill shots or something.
Mike Vinicor, right? Like, there's got to be a Mike.
The MXV.
MXV. There's got to be an MXV shot in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. So short plunge.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So these other shots you see, I'm going to be pointing at my computer. So
yeah, it's very helpful for the stream.
Yeah, you guys can't see what I'm pointing at. So I'm going to try and describe it as well. So the other shots, the main shots you see on the play field that have like the record on each one of them.
Sure.
So what you're wanting to do is
right here.
So those are multicolored inserts, and the color that is lit will correspond with the mode.
Okay.
And I don't know offhand which color is which mode, but at first I think you need to collect 2 records, which is just hitting a shot, you collect a record. And then your second shot, whatever color the second shot is that you hit, is I believe the mode that you will sort of lock in.
Okay.
Okay. So once you have that mode locked in, you can start the mode by hitting the time machine.
Okay.
But you can also sort of risk more points and hit other records that you haven't hit yet. And if you hit the remaining ones, you'll get 10% value to your mode shots when you start your mode. And then when you've completed all the shots, they'll relight again, and you can keep building them up. And I think we got it to 110% or something like that extra value. Yeah. So I don't know how far you can build it up, but you can definitely sort of risk reward and build that up.
Here we go. The mode that starts is determined by which colors you have collected the most of, which ties broken by the left orbit. So, because that was my question. It was, oh yeah, Ray Day's ready. He's ready. So that was going to be my question is, you're saying it's a bunch of different colors. Your second shot. Yeah. So you're saying it doesn't lock in that, because I was thinking, okay, if your second shot is red, do all the shots become red? And you're saying no, they're still going to be multicolored. So if you want to, or how does that work?
So they'll just continue flashing. So once you have your records collected that you need to start the song or the mode, the other records you haven't hit will still be flashing. You hit those, they go solid, and then they all relight again, and then you just hit them again and add 10 more percent.
Okay.
But I don't know how far that goes, that additional percentage.
So
I don't know if there's a cap.
Additionally, when you start a mode, the colors you had in that mode color get locked in and are now 2 times shots for the rest of the shots.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
They rotate colors.
These deeper ones, I'm not into the deeper ones
yet.
Oh,
Raymond's going. Yeah, Raymond's going to make this. Yeah, they rotate colors with rush target hits, or by hitting one, it'll rotate the others. So, so that was. Okay. Is there a shot on this game that you can loop? Like if you hit the. Because this diverter really, I mean, if the
you can loop the right ramp. You can loop the right ramp, and it'll come back to your left flipper again.
Could you do that then? Could you just keep pounding that right ramp to like?
Well, no, because once you hit that record and get that value locked in, you have to hit the other records. That one will light solid.
Okay.
And then you have to hit the other flashing ones on the play field in order to progress the value of to advance the mode. And then you shoot it up the middle to start
your mode. And I know I kind of saw this with the streams, and I like this. So there's 3 lights here at the top of the time machine. As far as I know, red is corresponding to your mode. Yellow has something to do with these combos, which I'm assuming we'll get into, and then green deals with the multi-ball. So depending on what light is lit, it's kind of already telling you, like, if you hit this, something's gonna happen. So you're saying it's as easy as 2 shots, and you could start a mode if you wanted to.
Well, 2 shots you can get your mode lit.
Okay.
And then you hit the middle,
the middle
time
to
machine,
start it.
and then you'll start your mode. But if you're actually, let's say you're walking into, for me anyway, a tournament, and you're wanting a quick, okay, what do I do? Putting it up the middle twice will light a multi-ball up the middle, then get your 2 records, start your mode, start your multi-ball at the same time. So that's like 5 shots. You can get a multi-ball, you can get a mode going within 5 shots. Yeah.
So the time machine up the middle, and when you start that multi-ball, does it stop the ball? Is it like cool? It gives you a magnet.
Yeah, it'll hold the ball in there, and it'll do the little animation, and then it'll kick it around. It'll always kick it around to the upper flipper too.
Nice. So that's what, when I look at pinball machines, it's, I want something quick and easy that I could tell my friends and family that when they step up to the game, hey, you want to see something cool. And it sounds like the easy thing to tell them is, hey, just literally hit that shot 3 times and watch what the ball does. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Pop it up the middle 3 times, you'll get a multi-ball.
And that multi-ball is called what? The one up the middle?
There's 3 different kinds of multi-balls you can get. There's, I believe it's Far Cry, Subdivisions, and Red Barchetta.
And these are all
and you can change
songs,
which multi-ball you're going to start by hitting that dead end target.
Far Cry is the scoop. Many pinballers
if Far Cry is the scoop, then it's Free Will. Is it Free Will, the multi-ball? Fly by Night. Okay. That's the one. Okay, sorry, Fly by Night.
So
hitting the dead end target will sort of cycle through the different multi-balls when you have them lit, I think.
Friends and family, thank you, Jordan. So you're saying you can pick, so it's not like time machine up the middle is always the same multi-ball.
There's three different multi-balls on that.
On the time machine alone. Because you're saying these light locks target down here, and then locking balls in the scoop is something completely different.
That's your Far Cry in the scoop multi-ball there, yeah.
Nice.
There's also another multi-ball behind the drop targets.
Back here, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe, and Ray Day can probably correct me if I'm wrong, the drop targets act similar to the Walking Dead ones, where it's like cycling through the 3 sort of instruments, and then when you hit one drop target, it'll stay there, finish the bank, you'll collect that instrument, and then you hit another shot on the play field to whatever, collect it, and then reset the bank. And I think you have to collect all 3 instruments and then hit the target behind the drop targets for the multi-ball. But Ray Day may know more about that.
Oh,
I haven't really explored that much.
He's already typing, I can tell. Yeah, so we'll wait for that to come in. But so you're saying, do we know how many I mean, there's 16 songs in the game, but how many? When you're saying modes,
so the modes
are related
are
to
the inserts are the inserts here. The Limelight, La Villa, Strangiato, Tom Sawyer, Working Man.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. The Spirit of Radio. 5.
Yep, Spirit of the Radio.
Oh, Mike's got it. You nailed it. He didn't even have to correct you. Big Money.
The Big Money, Working Man, Tom Sawyer. Yeah. So those are
6.
all modes. So there's 6 modes. There's at least 5 multi-balls that I know of.
Okay.
Actually, there's 6 multi-balls. You can get one up the right orbit as well, and I believe that's related to the pop bumpers.
Nice.
There's this drum solos. You build your drum solo enough, I believe, and then you can get a multi-ball on the right orbit.
Yeah. Pierre, thank you for the like, by the way.
So yeah, 6 modes, 6 multi-balls, and then wizard modes to come or are already there. We just can't get them.
And people, I mean, do you think there's too many multi-balls, Mike? Because I didn't feel that way when I was playing it.
Yeah, I think the way the game, and I could be wrong, but I think the way the game is sort of intended to be played is stack a mode with a multi-ball, play your mode as best you can while you're in multi-ball, make progress towards another multi-ball, start another song. I think you're trying to couple getting a song or a mode with a multi-ball. So there's like multi-balls paired with modes, I guess, in a sense.
So the goal here is to watch, TPN. You watch the TPN stream to see the previous TPN stream. That's what we're doing right now. What I wanted to bring up is really what I wanted to hone in here is and maybe we'll do. Can I? Oh, you can't zoom in on a YouTube video? That's dumb. All right, so I'm looking up here at the LCD screen, and so like on the premium, you were talking about one of the modes happening with the pop bumper hits.
No, that's not just the premium. You
Well,
can actually do
yeah.
the insert on the right orbit says multi-ball, and you can start it there. But I don't even think we've gotten that multi-ball yet. It's actually probably the hardest one to
Well,
get.
what I was saying is on the premium, there's a physical drum. There's a drum
Oh,
and there's a
right, with the
clock
time.
that's actually
Yeah,
showing
yeah,
you
yeah,
progress.
yeah,
But on this, it looks like the clock is just right
yeah,
here on the screen. So it's
yeah.
saying 5:13. So that's where you have to see that. Now, Raymond, maybe you can explain. I do know this pop bumper, this back left one changes color. So
Yeah.
there's got to be some sort of color reference of
They're like levels. I think it's levels, and then you get certain pop. Like I've seen it a few times where like certain pop bumpers will level up, and I think it's represented by the color of the LED in that pop bumper.
Okay. Here we go. Here we're going to do some Googling here. How to zoom on a YouTube video. Yeah. Let's see if we could figure this out together. Oh, we could watch a video on how to zoom in on a video. There's got to be a way to do this. Talks amongst yourselves. This doesn't work. Control plus or minus does not work. Okay.
There you go. Ray Day got it there.
What did he say? It's like Funhouse. Pops adding 1 minute per hit, but can be bumped with drumsticks or under flipper lane. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's like you hit a certain number of pop bumpers, and then you'll light that shot behind the flipper to upgrade them or something, I think.
Use magnifying glass. How? How does the magnifying glass? Oh, is that that's a thing here. Yeah. Magnifier app. Here we go. Okay, I think I just broke everything. I think I just broke everything. Yep. Maybe we're not going to use that because that is not well liked in OBS. Okay. No big deal. No big deal. But what else do we have on this screen that we should talk through? There we go. Okay. So what else do we have? So you were talking about the instruments here. The instruments, I see combo score, spinner score, pop score. Just zoom with OBS. You know, Raymond, that's like a good idea, okay? That's like a good idea that I probably should have thought about myself. Yep. Yep. All right. Well, it's gonna break my scene, but you know what? We're gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna go ahead and do this all the way to the bottom level. Dang, Raymond, look at you go. He not only knows how to tell us how to do the game code, he also knows he knows how to tell us how to stream better. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. All right, so here we are looking at the screen. Okay, can you explain these targets again? What we're seeing here?
The drop targets?
Yeah, right here.
So when you collect an instrument, and again, I don't know exactly how they work, but every time you collect an instrument, you hit the drop targets and then finish the bank on whichever one is lit. All the shots light on the play field. You hit a shot, and then you collect the instrument.
Okay.
And then the bank resets, and then it goes through cycling again. I believe at some point you were raising the level of each sort of the spinner or the pops or the combos as you're collecting the instruments.
Because it's what do we got? It's combo score, spinner scores, and pops. So
on the bottom of those, it tells you how much the value is of the combos or the score. The combo score, spinner score, and then the pop bumpers, and it does raise the value at some point because I know I've had them higher, but I don't know for sure if it's just by collecting an instrument.
So how do you get to like? Okay, so it drops. So like on the premium, when does the fork or the thing behind it come into play? You can activate instruments you have collected by hitting behind the drops target shot.
There you go. Okay.
If
the multi-ball's not ready, then I guess you can activate them. Okay.
So you can collect it, but you don't actually start that until you hit that target behind the Activating your instrument starts a timer that slides out from the area, giving you 2 times for the instrument shots. Nice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I like
There you
that.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So what else do we have? We have albums collected. I see 1, 2, 3.
Yes. So the albums are collected in the time machine shot.
Okay.
I've collected multiple albums. I don't exactly know how that works, but the top left where you see where it says Working Man, it says collect more records to boost value. That's the section that will tell you what mode you're going to start or play when you hit the time machine.
Okay.
And then as you're hitting records, it'll also show in there 10% value, 20% value, so on and so forth. So that's where at the beginning of the game, you'll just see 2 records on there, or a record on there and a number. And that's how many you have to collect in order to be able to start your song.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the Rush, the logo is just the stand-up targets on the right side.
So
the
right
Rush
here.
stand-up target.
So 7 more to
There
light.
you go. Yeah.
So you would have to hit 7 more record shots to light.
Yeah, I
your
believe
next...
he had done like all the modes. I think at that point he was at like.
Oh, he's at 1 billion points. Yeah, I just saw he's at 1 billion. Maybe that's not the best game to look at. Yeah.
So I think at the start you have to do 2, and then so like 1 more here to light.
Got it. And you get to pick your song?
At the beginning of the game, you pick your song. It's just like Iron Maiden. There's no consequence to the game itself. It's just you pick the song.
Gotcha. But the modes, there's 6 different modes you're saying, and they're all unique, I assume.
Yeah, so far, from what I can tell, the modes are fairly unique. They're obviously lit different colors, but what you have to do in the modes are different as well.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, we don't have to get into how the modes completely work unless you want to kind of go there, but they definitely are. There's a good variety in what you have to do during the modes. It's not just a random few number of shots that you have to hit. There's actually you hit the spinner in one of the shots to build up value and collect jackpots, that sort of stuff. So
nice. Well, I mean, I know Ray puts in a lot of time on this display and trying to communicate things, and I am
there's
all
a lot.
Yeah. I'm all for though having like a designated spot for different areas. Like that was something. What's weird is I think of The Hobbit. Like The Hobbit I actually really enjoyed Hobbit when I had it, but it was very like they did a really good job like giving you all these movie clips and whatnot. But yet at any time you could look up and you could tell where you're at with the 4 different main goals you're trying to accomplish. You know, they had their designated spot. Is there a song you can only hear in a wizard mode, i.e. Metallica Into the Line? Good question. I don't know. Raymond would have to ask that.
Ray may know. I don't know. Yeah.
But what I'm seeing here is just to go around. So this is, very much communicating the upper left here. This is communicating, your progress towards starting a mode. And then I think we saw once you're in a mode, it's communicating, or this is saying how to light your next mode, right? But so like right here, you're in a mode, Spirit of the Radio.
That's when you're in the mode. Yeah, that tells you what you need to do. So the Spirit of the Radio mode, that's the one I was talking about with the spinner. You hit the left spinner and it sort of raises the value, and you can see that spinner adds. Oh, it adds shots.
Adds shots.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you hit the spinner, when you start the mode, the dead end target and the spinner are lit, and then when you hit the spinner, it starts lighting other shots in the game, and I believe you have to collect 5 of those shots to progress through that mode.
What do we have? Stoltz here. Raymond, can you comment on the number of hours the graphics team spent modeling the rotisserie chicken machine? That's some top shelf trivia. Wow, nice. Dang, Carter with the 17 million combo jackpot ready. So so he's seeing that. Oh, right here at the top. So jackpot combo ready right here at the washing machine, right? That he needs to hit. So it's how did that happen? What did he do to build this?
Ray Day would probably have a better idea. He collected 107 million point jackpot last night too. That I have no idea how he did it, but it is up the middle. I believe it's the combo jackpot, and then when you get the combo jackpot, so the combo jackpot on the playfield, you saw those 1, 2, and 3 inserts on most of the shots. So when you start the game, those are combos. So when you start the game, the 1s will be lit. If you hit a 1, then a 2 will light up somewhere else on the playfield. Hit the 2, and then a 3 will light up. Hit the 3, and then you can collect your combo jackpot.
Nice. I don't know if I should point this out real quick, but so Coach Carter, that would be your son, right? 1,300,000,000 points. Your wife here has 1.5 million.
Yep.
And you here at the end, Mike, have 2.3 million.
That's correct. Yes. That is correct.
So
That was our first. Listen, us older people, we need more time to warm up on our games.
Okay.
So that was like our first game. He can just walk up to a game and blow it up on his first play. Yeah, I need 3 or 4 plays in there.
Hey, that's fair. So just to really dial in on this LCD. So upper left here, this is communicating what you need to do to start your mode, and then when you're in a mode, that's what it's telling you what to do. Rush, those are the targets on the right.
So those are the stand-up targets, and I believe they light a hurry up on the right ramp, I want to say, but again, I'm not 100% sure on that. But Ray Day can probably correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay. And this 1, 2, 3 album,
that's your combos. So that's 1,
your
2, and 3.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah.
So the 2 times Raymond pointed that out. He thinks he probably had 2-time combo running. That's what that's showing. And then we talked about the instruments a little bit. It looks like he
as you can see the values on those, they're different now, and he has them running there. Yeah,
he's crushing those. Jackpot ready. So it looks like the time machine, that's going to communicate upper right what's going on or what's going to happen. Yeah. And then you got your drum. You're telling you where you're at or how close you are to starting that multi-ball. Shoot targets twice to light ramp. So I'm curious what that, and then this 2 instrument sets multi-ball ready. What are these last 2 boxes referring to? Do you know?
So the shoot targets twice to light ramp. I believe if you've done a multi-ball, if you want to start another one, you have to hit the 2 targets on each side of the ramp, and then there's actually a green insert that says light lock. So I believe like your second playthrough, you have to then hit the 2 targets, then the ramp to light the scoop for your lock.
So this is communicating the scoop multi-ball.
No, the scoop multi-ball is in there.
Is this box?
When you first start the game, it'll just tell you hit the targets to light lock.
Gotcha.
And when you get that multi-ball, then it'll say shoot targets to light ramp. Then you hit the ramp, and then your lock's lit.
And then what about this 2 instrument sets?
That has to do with the instruments again, and that's where I believe it's telling you how many sets you have.
Oh,
and then how many sets you've completed. Yeah, and it'll tell you how many sets you need for the multi-ball as well.
Nice.
And then it'll obviously tell you when your multi-ball is lit.
Well, I love this. And the fact that I like the fact that I can scroll through this video here and we can instantly see what's going on. So this quality is
it's very well thought out.
Yeah,
and it's there 95% of the time.
Yeah.
That information is there, and it's good to have. It takes a little bit to remember where everything is, right? Yeah, but once you know what everything is, then it's very valuable to have. It's just a matter of finding the time while you're playing the game to actually look up and see, what you need.
But I like that though, the fact that if you know where you're gonna need to look on the stream or on the screen, it's like if you only get a quick glance, at least you know exactly where it's going to be. And I really like that you're saying 95% of the time. So I feel like it's there enough that you should be able to trust it, that you should be able to trust that, hey, I'm going to risk looking up right now, but luckily, I should be able to find or see the information that I need while I do it. Yeah. So well done, Ray Day. That is well thought out. And
definitely,
for somebody that's, Mike's only put in a few games here, but it seems like he's got enough of an understanding that he can
slowly grasping it. Slowly. Yeah.
All right. So let's go back here. So that's awesome. That gets me really excited because some of these games, like even Godzilla trying to comprehend. It's like, okay, I'm flipping around and this ball's whizzing everywhere and I'm loving it, but I don't know what I'm doing. Like the first few times you play it, and then you start to realize like, okay, these lights are communicating where I'm at with the mode. This is communicating, but it wasn't until one of the later updates did it really start to communicate what tank multi-ball, like your progress on tank or your progress on bridge, really try. But even then the menu, the screen. I mean, Mike, you have a Godzilla. You know that, like, you look up and you're like, crap, it's not showing me my city, so I don't know where I'm at. you know, and sometimes I find myself frustrated by that because I don't know where I'm at, and I like this. Raymond, thumbs up from me. I haven't even played it, but what I'm seeing, I'm liking. So
Yeah, no, there's tons of information on there and it's there all the time for you. So you can always look up whenever you need to see where you're
to see
at
it,
if you're
yeah.
going for a particular thing. One thing we didn't mention was the lock bar button.
Oh yeah,
So the
yeah.
lock bar button, uh, when you don't have anything collected or anything, it's red, and you hold it down, and that will change the diverter. So you see the two little flashers on the left and right here.
Yep. These right down here.
The
Yep.
flasher will be flashing, and it'll be signaling to you what side the ball is going to return to if you hit the right ramp.
Yeah.
And you can change it anytime you want. You don't have to collect it. There's no limit. You can change it anytime. But then you can also collect a weapon, which will either in single ball play spot you all lit shots,
A weapon?
or in multi-ball will add a ball.
Is it actually a weapon?
It's called a weapon.
A weapon. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called a weapon. Yeah, it says weapon lit or whatever. I don't know what weapon it is, but
Do you know what you did to get
no,
the weapon?
no, I don't know what I did.
Raymond, how do we get a weapon?
Where's the weapon?
Yeah.
I don't know
Show
how
us
to
the
get
weapon.
the weapon.
Jordan Stoltz, the rules do sound pretty approachable. The weapon is a Rush
Yeah,
song.
Oh,
it's a
there
Rush
you
song.
go.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say I think it's a Rush song.
The rules sound very approachable when explained like this. Hoping we get one in the area to play. Yeah, I mean, it's super easy to explain rules when you fumble around with resizing screens in OBS, and you just happen to have the coder of the game in chat. It's it's a piece of cake. But no, I like this. I like this. I mean, I love the reveal streams, but I know there's so much hype and like excitement, and so many people just want to see the ball move and play. And I can't sit here and tell you the best way to explain or reveal a game, but this is awesome. When you collect an album via a 1, 2, 3 combo jackpot, if you're playing a mode from that album, you can use the weapon. So if you're playing a mode, if you collect an album via a 1, 2, 3, so these albums, you're saying
so when
okay.
So see the 1, 2, 3 combos here. So
Yes.
like the ramp has a 1, some of them have 2, 3, some of them have 1, 2.
Uh-huh.
So when you're starting out, all the ones are lit.
Okay.
When you hit a 1, any of the 2s that you can combo off of that shot in particular will be lit. They don't go away. It's not like a hurry up or any time that I know of.
Nice.
If it is, it gives you a pretty good time to hit it. And then once you hit the 2s, it'll combo a 3. And then once you hit the 3, the center is lit. And I guess you collect an album as well, from what Ray Day's saying.
If the song is a multi-ball song, it's an add-a-ball. If the song is a planet mode, it spots all shots, even during multi-ball. If you have a stack, exclamation point. So that's capitalize on that. So this is the boom button. This is the boom button like Deadpool, right? That's what I'm hearing. Collect all the shots. Boom.
Yeah.
Or super boom, right?
Super boom. Yeah.
You know what I think is exciting about this game too is that because I believe Tim, I know Ray Day did, but I believe Tim was on Led Zeppelin as well, and I think that you get all of the great code that made Zeppelin an amazing game, but on top of that, you get a layout that I think is superior to Led Zeppelin. And let's not forget that John Borg is, I think, he's no slouch and he's been around for a long time. I think he's Stern's, second best designer to Elwin, in my opinion. And he makes a damn good machine. And I think this is, some people look at this machine and go, it's just X-Men. But I look at it and say, who cares? When you start to play this game, there are no thoughts about X-Men going through your head. If that design, so you forget very quickly that this design was born of something that he previously did, but this is a way better machine than X-Men. I mean, this blows X-Men right out of the water, I think, because it flows so much better. The music works so well with it. It's themed extremely well. The code is amazing on this game. So very quickly you forget about where this layout came from, so I just think John has taken I think a solid layout, and he's just perfected it. And then he's added on these beautiful code layers that Tim and Raymond have put on it.
Yeah.
And then you put the expression lighting on it. This is a fun game, guys. I keep saying that, but that is what you are left with. You will be smiling ear to ear when you play this game. And I was not left with that feeling initially when I played Led Zeppelin. I'm not saying Led Zeppelin is a bad game, but I did not come away from my first experience on Led Zeppelin thinking, "Oh, this is amazing. I want to play it again." I was like, "It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay.
The
I don't have to have it though." But when I played this game, I was like, "Ooh, damn. I
yeah.
think I got to have this because
Yeah.
there's just something about it." And I was like, "Ooh, I don't want to have this." I was actually hoping it wasn't going to feel this way. Like, shit, now I got to spend more money. But you are left feeling that with this game, which is amazing. I really do think this is going to be a sleeper hit for Stern this year, and I think the more people that start to play this game, the more they are going to realize that this is something very special that is occurring here.
Yeah, and that's exciting. Insanity Falls, glad you're here. I just to defend Zeppelin real quick. Most of when somebody steps up to a game, the first thing they experience is not the code, right? I mean, they're experiencing the shots, they're experiencing the layout, they're experiencing the toys or the wow factor, the mechs. Led Zeppelin didn't have that, and I think the best what is it, overall experience of Led Zeppelin was actually documented by Nick and Kevin from Buffalo Pinball. Nick and Kevin played Led Zeppelin originally at a pizza joint, and they came back later and just ripped it a new one. They're just like, that game sucked. They're like, they just thought it was awful. They just thought it was awful. And then so many people wrote in and they're like, you've got to give this game a shot. Like, don't play like, if you can play this in a better environment, I guarantee the game wasn't set up right, but the code, like Nick at Buffalo Pinball is such a code freak. And they're like, Nick, I promise you will like this game. And they gave it another shot. And when you had it in the right environment where they could really focus on the code, Nick bought the game. He bought a premium, and he claims, he's like, this may be my favorite Stern. Like, that's how much, and that's why I applaud Raymond and Timmy so much for the code, because
they saved that game.
They
I'm telling you right now,
100% saved that game. 100, and
Because when you shoot that game, it is not on paper. It's very simplistic, right? So when you
Yes.
look at that game, you go, "There's nothing to do. There's not that much, in terms of mechs and stuff like that." So you're like, "How fun is this going to be?" And I would agree with you 100%. The code is save that game 100%.
Raymond, no,
But
for
on
real.
on this one, it really
yeah.
elevates it even further because I think the layout is superior to Zeppelin. They obviously put more mechs in this game.
Yep.
So, and I think the band integration in terms of all the call outs that they put into this game and the time and effort that they thought about all the integration of the band and what the band stands for and all the band themes in terms of the albums and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. The call outs are unbelievably good in this game as well, right, Mike? I mean,
Well, of course,
I
there's a
was
lot of Canadian content in it.
yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It is awesome stuff to hear Getty and Alex chiming in. It's very funny. I mean, the band obviously has a great sense of humor, and you get that feeling right away when you start playing this game, which I think is a real breath of fresh air. I mean, one of the things that I don't like about some of the recent Sterns is that they're very intense and they take themselves a bit too seriously. I mean, if I had to criticize Avengers, I'd say it's a little bit too serious.
Yeah,
it's very intense.
Dry. Yeah.
It's and that kind of
personality.
cuts, and it kind of cuts some of the fun out of it, I would say. Whereas this is all fun, and so it's a very different feeling. It's coupled with the music. It's very light and it feels very fresh to me, but challenging too. And that's the nice thing about it too. It's not just a walk in the park.
I know Carter put up $2 billion on it, but I mean, it is actually a challenging game. I think some people have mentioned the scoop. Sometimes people are having issues with it ejecting straight down the middle a lot of the time. So it was doing that for us, and we've adjusted the strength of the coil, made it a little stronger, try it out a little lower. So I think we have it now where it's fair. But we were getting some straight down the middles from there. You're going to get them from the dead end target occasionally,
Yeah.
depending on how the feed and how it comes out. And you're going to get them from the time machine if it spits the ball back down
Okay.
towards the middle. It's going to happen. I mean, every game is, most shots, a lot of shots are designed to kind of put you into a bit of trouble afterwards, right?
Well,
Mhm.
I
But
know.
yeah, those two in particular are
I know Ray Day
grainy.
on Led Zeppelin, the Hermit target, the dead end shot there, it
Yeah.
really came out in such a way that it was almost a direct feed to the right out lane. And
right out
and
lane.
and I
Yeah.
know Raymond ended up coding in. I always called it Ray Day's grace because it was it was like he would code in that little bit of grace period of knowing.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if there's anything here that would
There,
do that. Like I know TNA
well,
has
there is a little bit. Yeah, there is a little bit, right, Mike? At least I found when I was playing, if you plunged it hard to go down through the pops, sometimes you'll get the ball will come off that orbit and it'll sail right through the pops without hitting anything, and it
Yeah.
will, tend to either go right down the middle or sometimes it'll kick out of the pops directly right and drain immediately.
Yeah.
Like I had a few games where I was like, I didn't touch the ball
Yeah.
at all, and it just it drained to the right. So I'm sure as you play it, you get more of a feel of how the ball goes around. You can start to nudge it to get out of those situations a little more. But again, you got to be on your toes with this game. It's not, it's a board game.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt Morrison was saying he thought it was Borg's easiest game, because and Joel, those his game, TMNT can be brutal.
Yes. Yes,
So
it can.
this definitely has a little bit more, a little less brutality and a little more fun, I would say. So you're not as pissed off when you are training on
Well,
this thing.
so
I don't know. I was getting a little pissed off at it
Were you?
today.
well, when your son has 2 billion points and you
Trying to
have
get 2
you have
billion
2
points.
million,
You're like, how's he doing it?
Yeah. What getting borged, right? I mean, getting borged is that's a verb,
Well,
right? So
there's
That's what I was going to say.
how's
Like,
this
you're
feeling on the
talking
right
about the
side?
feed. Yeah, you're talking about the feed outside of the pop bumpers there and,
Yeah.
and bouncing out. Well, I mean, I think the right out lane, the Borg on the right side is by design,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? He likes, making people have to, struggle to keep their ball in play sometimes.
Yeah. You feel like because there's there's 3 lanes there that the odds are with you that it's not going to go out, but
No,
somehow
it's
it always
worse.
finds
No.
Worse.
it always finds
It,
that right
it hits
lane.
this guy
Yeah.
right here, at least on turtles. It hits
That-
this
yeah,
metal
that's-
bar, and you're like, "Oh, that's fine. If it hits that, it's gonna go here or here." Nah, it just bam, it just right over
Just-
everything. Woo! At least there's
yeah.
drop targets in the pro and not just stand-ups. I agree. I'm glad this is here. I don't know how they would have done this without that being drop targets. Do you feel? I was surprised. This area right here, there isn't anything there. There isn't a
Nothing.
target.
Yeah,
There's
no.
nothing. Is that weird at all? Or I mean, I do. If you look over here, I mean, this jut out. There's nothing there either. So, maybe you're not noticing, but it's pretty crazy. Like on Godzilla, the freaking mazer,
Is right there, yeah.
there. So I'm almost used to having these impossibly hard shots, super close and down. You can always move your outlane posts to the lowest level. I think Borg did that on his personal game. So
Yeah. You
Is
can
it-
see
Yeah,
these
this
are
one
a
has
little
2
higher.
holes. A lot of them have. I think it only has 2
this
holes.
looks like it has
Yeah.
3. Do you?
That
Was it
one on the
shipped?
left does look like it has 3, but when I was looking, it looked like it had
well,
2. I'll go check.
Yeah,
Hold
go
on.
check. Mike has the game directly behind him, so he should.
Now, I thought there was another stand-up target behind those instrument.
Yes, there's
three.
a stand up here. I'm saying right
Yeah.
here. Over here, it's just like rubber. There's nothing.
There's
so
an
there's
LED.
3 holes.
There's a GI bulb underneath that
Gotcha,
plastic.
gotcha. So,
But there's 3 holes on the post there. You're right.
so Craig, we were kind of hinting at this before we started the streaming here, but you might buy one of these. You're thinking.
So, yeah, I am thinking more and more now that I'm going to get one. The more I think about it, the more I see this game streamed and hear about the code. I would like to get my hands on a premium ultimately. I did leave feeling with the Pro, very satisfied after having played the Pro.
Okay.
So I'm just curious how a premium would feel, with it. Of course, the Pro I played didn't have the expression lighting. I think that would make it that much better
Oh,
to have that expression
Mike,
lighting.
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
say,
you're getting the expression
I
lighting,
gotta
I
say,
assume.
oh
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
It definitely
You've
needs the
got it.
expression
You
lighting for
gotta get
sure.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta get it. Yeah.
but I did leave, my first experience with it feeling very satisfied for a Pro. Again, I don't feel that way often when I play the Pro versions of these machines. But on this one, I did on Turtles. I did again on this one. So maybe that's a Borg thing where he likes to, put more into his Pros. But so I don't think the Pro is a slouch by any means. I
Well,
don't think you're gonna feel like I don't think
thank you,
you're gonna
Kevin.
be
Yep.
feeling like you're missing anything unless, of course, you played the premium, then you might feel like ultimately you have, but I think not having any reference at the moment, I didn't feel like, "Oh, I really wanted this or that or something else," beyond the lighting.
Insanity Falls. Hey Joel, you know Forever by Throwdown the band? Yeah, I know Throwdown. That's a great band.
The only differences in the gameplay between the Pro and the Premium are
The
just
VUC,
the
right?
little ramp that goes up and down for the time machine, and then the
Well,
VUC,
Mhm.
the
right?
VUC, because that
Yeah.
was the only thing I was thinking here on the Pro, right? Like you were talking about combos, they're still using this
Yeah.
stand up as a combo shot, so it's almost like you're gonna have to hit it, and then it's not like it's a seamless thing. Like it's gonna hit that target, and you have to come down here somewhere
Yeah,
and
it's a bit
So
cradle
yeah,
up.
random.
when you hit that target, it is a bit random, but it does favor coming down to the right flipper most of
Okay.
the time. Yeah.
Well, on the VUC, right? The VUC would send this down to the left flipper, correct? So I'm assuming the combo shot on the premium would be to the VUC, and then your second shot's probably over here on the right side.
It
Do
would
you?
probably wherever
It's
which
the
one has
diverter,
the
yeah.
two. Yeah.
But I think you can direct it as well, Joel, can't you, when it goes up there based on where
Well,
the diverter is pointing?
yes,
Or am
but
I
not on
wrong?
the VUC. The VUC is always
No?
no. The VUC goes to the right. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, that's
The
what I
VUC,
thought
Yeah, I
too.
yeah.
believe the left orbit is your number 2 combo on that shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's
And
either
that's the
way.
only one. And that's
Yeah.
the thing, like depending on which number 1 you hit, like if you hit that, I believe if you hit that dead end target number 1, the only number 2 that's going to light up is that left orbit.
Gotcha.
Whereas if you hit the spinner on number 1, it'll light the upper orbit, it'll light the upper ramp. So like depending on which number
Spinner
1 you
on
hit,
one, and
the
then you
number
have
2 that
either of
lights up,
these. Yeah.
yeah,
Do they both light up, or it only tells you
they
one?
both light up. Yeah, they both light up.
Nice. What do we got?
Yeah.
Insanity Falls. I'm gonna have to listen to that song. That's awesome for myself, for my friends, for my family. That's awesome. Ray Day lift ramp. Oh, so he's saying the differences here between the Pro and Premium. Lift ramp,
Oh, the lock. Yeah.
side scoop lock, side scoop kick out, vertical up kicker with return rail, double up post ball locking mechanism, and then the drum clock with lights and motor, and 6 much brighter ramp runway LEDs.
I can see that on this
Yeah,
picture for
and
sure.
Right.
the
The
GI,
ball does
right?
lock. Yeah, behind the drop targets as
The
well.
GI, the 3-color GI, that's premium as well, right? Or that's not only the LE, because this is just white and red, and I think the premium is red, white, and red.
Mhm.
Yeah, the VUC goes to the right. Perfect. Yeah. Oh yeah, GI color. Perfect. Yeah.
So there's a lot of bang
Mm,
for the buck. Then there's
yeah.
a lot of
Yep.
little
There
extras,
is.
and yeah.
Yeah, but the reason I brought this up, Craig, is because like you were all in on Godzilla, right? You weren't watching
know.
Godzilla streams. You were thinking, I got Avengers. Am I following? Am I Keith Elwin? Is this? But what is it? I mean, you've watched a lot of Godzilla streams, but what is it about? Is it just the Canadian pull of Rush, or what?
I Well, I can't. Been starting to think. I'm a big fan of the band, and I can't think of another music theme pin that I'm gonna like more than this one. That I think is coming down the pipe. Now, who knows who they're gonna pick up next and run with, but this band would be pretty high up there in terms of a rock band that I would want to see in a
But
music pin, and it's so much different than the Keith Elwin
yeah,
games that I've been playing. So in terms of variety, I'm just starting to think, rather than go into a Godzilla right away, this might be a a nice change and sort of start to round out a two-pin
Yeah,
collection.
but is that the goal? You keep saying music pin. Is the goal that you want a music pin, or because
I think, yeah, I do want a music pin because, as soon as I played Iron Maiden for the first time, I thought, oh, damn, this is awesome. And
okay,
hadn't felt that way previously. I played AC/DC, I played Rolling Stones, I played Metallica. I didn't leave those games feeling the same way as I did when I played Iron Maiden. So I think done right, these music pins are unbelievable. They put 16 songs into this game, so I think there's less chance of you getting sick of them. Obviously, if you play it thousands of times, you got to be a fan of the music. But I
yeah, well,
think,
you've already heard Rush 1,000 times, so you're not sick of it
yeah.
yet, right?
So, and I just think with the expression lighting kit put onto this,
Yes.
it does add another element that we've only seen once before in Led Zeppelin, and I think
Yeah.
it really does take these music pins, much like Jersey Jack did with GNR. The more lights in these things, the better to sync with, to program with. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of fun. You really can get into the music when you're playing at the same time, which is fantastic.
Well, I think that's something. The more that I play pinball, and maybe this is just playing at home, because I know some of these tournament players, they just throw on some headphones. They're not listening at all to the music of the game. They are just so focused on what shot do I need to hit, what do I need to do. But when I play a game at home, the more you can get sucked into the game, that immersion, that feeling like you're part of and experiencing the game, that's what I really really love. And to be honest, there's only a handful of games that have ever really done that to me. Hobbit was one of them. Stranger Things was one of them. TNA really sucks me in when I get going in that. And a big part of, but you have to be firing on all cylinders. You have to, you
Hmm.
got to have a good game that's keeping you entertained. You got to have the audio that really, because I play with headphones, you got to have the audio package that really, sucks you in. And then if you can have light show that really changes the mood of the game, is changing based on what you're doing. And to be honest, Led Zeppelin did that. Like Led Zeppelin would suck me in with that expression light kit. So I look at this as, in every way, and I think a lot of people are doing this, as saying this is an upgrade. Like this is a better Led Zeppelin. You have all the good stuff
Yeah.
for Led Zeppelin. You got awesome music. You got cool combo shots. You got Ray Day and Timmy rules. You got expression lighting kits. You got all the things that we love about Led Zeppelin. But then you're throwing on top of that a diverter, a better layout, more toys
Better
and
call
mechs.
outs.
I
Yeah.
mean, Mike, I know you're in the honeymoon stage right now, but you have both Led Zeppelin and Rush. I mean,
Yep.
are we being fair? Is this a fair comparison?
No, I believe it is a fair comparison. Actually, I own all three games that Tim coded. So, I mean, I have the Black Knight, I have Led Zeppelin, and I have obviously the Rush now.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of the code. I like the code that he's been able to do in the games. It's some of the deepest code. Led Zeppelin's actually fairly deep game when you really get into the nitty gritty
Yes.
of the code. So I feel like this game is going in the same direction, and the code is already really robust in the
Hmm.
game as it is now. So I mean, with what they've been able to do with Led Zeppelin, I just feel like this is just going to get better as the code comes along.
Presses, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's already a lot, like just like Godzilla. Godzilla had a lot in the game as when it came out, right? And this one has the same thing. It's very fleshed out already, and it's just going to get better.
Did I don't know. Well, do you know what the code is at? Is it point what?
8.5, I think, wasn't it,
0.85 was
Mike?
Godzilla.
Is it 8.5?
I know
I
0.85 is
don't really,
Godzilla.
yeah, I believe 8.5 was where it was at. Yeah,
Cool.
I might be mistaken with Godzilla because I think Godzilla came out at 8.5 as well.
Yeah. Got Bitcoin.
Oh,
ACDC sucks me in. Rush should do that too. Absolutely. Combos are important. It's very clear that Timmy and Ray Day like combos, and the fact that they code specific things around combos. I'm all for that. I'm a fan of that as well. Uh Muggin for life? Muggin. I love Rush and Borg. Just wish there was something different as far as mechs are involved. I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what? That diverter, don't underestimate that diverter
No,
in the upper
fun.
part of the playfield. It looks very simple, but
Yeah.
it's shaped perfectly to be in that spot.
Um,
The button on that diverter is really good to set up, what you're trying to do in the game as well.
Sure. I know
Yeah.
that was a concern on the initial stream. They were saying when the ball was being diverted down the right, it almost like really slowed the ball
It
down.
does. Yeah, it does.
So
slow
you
the
are
ball
still
down.
seeing
Yep.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is 11:30, and we are supposed to do a video, a sponsor video, and we always try to shoot for that right in the middle of the stream. That was 30 minutes ago, so we're a little late. But I will say this conversation is it's I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So let's go ahead and do this sponsor video. If you guys need to take a bio break or anything, feel free to do that now. It'll be a real quick sponsor video, and then we'll dive right back into this discussion. But yeah, so chat, stick with us here, but and enjoy this video real quick.
Your pinball machine deserves the best. At Comet Pinball, you'll find the best variety of LED products with the best quality LEDs, and most importantly, at the best price. Your collection is begging for an upgrade. Order yours now at cometpinball.com.
Scorbit is excited to announce Achievements, the latest in an amazing series of features available to thousands of connected pinball machines around the world. Achievements are part of Scorbit's free open platform. Scorbit already supports hundreds of pinball machines from the 1970s to today. Give your games new life by connecting them to the Scorbit platform and the universe of applications for pinball machines.
I hear Raymond talk about it, so I'm like, shit, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
Raymond, we're back. We're back. We're live. We're here. We're basically talking that entire that entire video about how excited. We're basically the three of us are just getting each other more excited about about Rush, and Raymond here having him in chat and telling us the rules, and the fact that they're not all even there is really exciting, really good. So we'll just say, I mean, chat, is there anything else? If Raymond's still here, it's got to be Muggin for life. True, it's nice to see that.
I think it's Mugen.
Mugen?
It's Mugen is a fighting game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a customizable fighting game.
Nice. Mugen for life. He's on it. So well done, Mike. Way to get the reference. True, it's nice to see the diverter way better than the X-Men Ice Slide ramp diverter. Yeah, that thing. I've heard about that that the Iceman slide, but
the X-Men. Yeah. So one thing before we go on about the comparison between Rush and X-Men. So while you look at the layout is very comparable to what you see in X-Men, but I found with X-Men, when you're looking at the upper part of the playfield, a lot of the shots are hidden. You can't see where the ball is going. On Rush, when you're standing over the game, you can see every shot, everything you need to make. It's all there. It's clear. Everything is, the only thing I would say is in the upper loop, the light up arrow.
That arrow
is,
right
is
there.
sort of hard to see from where you're standing, but other than that, you can see all the shots. Where I found in X-Men, it felt almost claustrophobic up there, where you couldn't see a lot of the shots and where the ball was going.
Yeah.
Stream volume is low. Can you hear us? Yeah. Sometimes it's fun to see where it's not going. Good. The stream volume should be where it's been at the whole time. Bearcat alumni, I've got a pro on order. Just can't wait to say. I just wanted to say thanks to Ray and Tim and Borg for creating my dream pin. Hey, Bearcat, it seems like you are not alone in that. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of people, not always because. Okay. So I will say, like this, if you actually think about it, this left ramp, right? If that would have been metal. that would have blocked a lot of this visual, and you would have not been able to see, especially on the premium, you wouldn't have been able to see that ball coming around the orbit at all. So I totally understand why this left ramp is plastic. And and then with the wire forms and everything, I mean, it really, you can see everything that's up here. Oh, here's something we did not discuss. This spinner shot. Thoughts? You like it? It feels good.
It's good. Yeah, the sound is good. It's an opto spinner, so it spins. Well, ours it spins for days, and it's backhandable, believe it or not.
From the right flipper?
Yeah, you can backhand it from the right. It'll sort of go up and bounce off the left wall, going up that lane into the spinner, but it'll
get there. Yeah.
That.
So it's good. I will tell you, that's one of the things on my Deadpool, the two spinners. Oh, buddy, I freaking love them. And then even on Godzilla, Keith gave us three. Keith gave us 3 spinners, and the more that I play pinball, the more that I realize how much I love drop targets and spinners. Those can't get enough.
I didn't notice a super spinner mode yet in this, but they have to. It's in the perfect spot. It makes the perfect sound.
There should be. That is one of the things on the LCD, right?
It raises the value of the spinner.
Okay,
yes,
but it's not a. It's
but
not
I mean,
okay.
I'd like to, Jurassic Park has the shoot it up the middle when you have super spinner lit, or Godzilla has the upper, I guess the center spinner for the power lines and stuff.
Yeah, Ray Day, I don't know if you're still here, but any comment on that? Are you planning on putting something in, or? Oh, the Clumkiss super spinner, the JP one. Yeah, I can't get enough spinner. Cannot get enough spinner. I will tell you, the drop targets, though, I enjoy drop targets more. Activating your guitar does 2 times spinner. That's what he's saying. That's what Ray Day said.
Okay.
But I will say drop target, combine that with raising the spinner value from collecting guitars, you get like 50K a spin. So you basically have to, it's not a dedicated super spinner mode is what it sounds like, but you can definitely do that.
Yeah, juice it up a little.
Juice it up. So got Bitcoin. What is the drum mech for? In this case, this is the premium photo that you're showing right now. The drum mech is indicating how close you are to, there's a multi-ball attached to the pop bumper. So every time you hit a pop bumper here, it's actually moving the hand of this clock. And you can see the same thing here on the LCD. I'm not going to zoom in, but it's over here, like right now when Carter was playing, he's at 2:14 p.m. So once you get to midnight, then you can start a multi-ball. So it's just a pretty toy that tells you where you're at on the clock. Also, the spinner is like super all the time. Such a sweet shot. Also, drum clock will move during working man mode. Oh, okay.
And it looks damn cool too.
It is a very
It
cool
looks
toy.
damn cool.
It's similar to the Captain Marvel spinner on the Avengers Pro. If you've
Yeah.
ever played the Pro, and it loops around, it just loops around just behind the metal ramp and then
Yep.
feeds out into the upper flipper
Feeds out
nicely.
to
It's
the
like
upper
the
flipper.
it's like the Cyclops shot on X-Men, or like a reverse of the Quora shot on Tron.
Hey, I'm all for it. Yeah, can't get enough spinner. Chat. I mean, Raymond's still here. Is there any other question, or Mike? I mean, you played this a few hours, or I mean, Craig. Is there any specific or any other question that we have for Ray while he's here in chat before we kind of wrap up our little rush discussion here? Is there a drum solo effect in the bumper zone? What do you?
Yeah, like the pop bumpers make drum sounds
Okay.
when you're hitting them. Yeah, and then as you level them up, I think they make different sounds as well once they're leveled up too.
Nice. Yeah, they do. Hey Ray, how chonky is it? Are we talking about the spinner? Does the time machine shoot the ball back at you? Got Bitcoin. We actually had that earlier on. It does on the Pro and Premium. So on the Pro, on the Premium, this ramp goes up and down. So if it's down, you're going to hit a metal wall and the ball comes back. So basically, what Ray was saying on the Pro, if you're in a similar state, then the magnet will actually reject the ball and cause the ball to come back at you, just like the metal wall would.
Yeah.
Nice compare and contract, but earlier immersion is so important thing is good for theme lovers, but holds less weight when you just want to score higher. I think that's what most players want. Pat, that's a good point, but to be honest, like I don't really care about score. Like I am more excited about Insider Connected, getting certain achievements. Like I'm really frustrated right now with Godzilla because one of the achievements is 5 tail whips. And I'm like, how have I not gotten this? But I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to light tail whip. And because that's like I would rather grind for that achievement than I will to try to hit 1 billion on Godzilla. That's just me personally. Mike probably thinks I'm crazy because you guys actually score high
I completely
points.
agree with you. I'm 2 achievements away from that Godzilla. I have 5 buildings, destroy 5 buildings in 1 game.
Yes,
and then I need the triple super jackpot.
Yeah,
that's all I need. Carter has all. He's gotten them all. He actually ended up getting all the rush achievements by the end of his 2 billion point game. There's only 20, but by the end of his 2 billion point game, he had all the achievements already.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like blatantly obvious or not, Mike, but I think Carter's better than you.
Well, I mean,
yeah, maybe.
Who do you think taught him?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I got it. Craig's sitting there. Do you have your Insider Connected kit yet for Avengers?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I just hooked it up this weekend. It was a pretty easy install. I took my time. It probably took, I don't know. It was probably the better part of an hour just because I was taking my time. The instructions were excellent.
Yeah.
That Stern provided. On the scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how hard it was, I'd say medium hard. I always forget when I'm not working on underneath the playfield of how the hardest part about working on your pinball machine is how tight everything is, right? So you go, oh, I just need a screwdriver, I just need a nut driver, and then you're like, fuck, I can't get to it. I can't, like, my hands are too big. I'm like, how are people putting these things together? Everything is so damn tight. And so that was the only thing. But if you take your time, it goes pretty easily. And I thought the integration of that kit into the machine is shockingly good.
Yes.
Like it looks like it looks like it just came out of the factory when you have it installed. So they've done a very good job of taking an accessory that they created after the fact, and they allow you to put it into your existing machine. So hats off to the engineering on that accessory, because I'm sure they had to think long and hard about how they were going to do this, both for the pro owners and for the premium LED owners, and get this thing right. Interestingly, I've seen people and I'm sure a lot of people have seen this too on Pinside and other places where they've taken that Insider Connected kit and put it in the coin door, which I think is really interesting as well. For those that want to sort of maintain the original look of the apron area with all of the art that came with your machine. Um, previous to this coming out. So for me, I had to remove the art on the Avengers in that right hand apron to make way for this. So just another way of installing it if you want to do it that way. So
So
no, I like it. I think I've been obsessed with trying to get all these achievements
yeah.
that I didn't have previously on the stock machine. And it's a lot of fun. And it was working right away. I think they've done a brilliant job with it, and I think it's only the beginning of how that system's going to get just better and better from a code perspective as well.
100%. I'm very curious to see. I mean, once you've gotten the achievements, then that's the thing. The potential there of like, I'm looking forward to them adding some sort of like speed run or like time mode of like, that way you can track what achievements did you get in that game, kind of do game by game kind of competing or whatever. But here, Got Bitcoin had a good question here. He goes, how did you get your Stern Insider Connected kit? I got mine from Flipping Out Pinball, Zach and Nicole. I had placed an order of that. Basically, the day they were announced, I was like, put me down for one. Where did you guys get yours from?
I got mine from Flipping Out too. Well, it's actually on its way. It should be here tomorrow. So, but I got it from Zach at Flipping Out as well.
Yeah, and Craig,
I got mine just from the distributor, the Player One. I just called them up and they said, "Yeah, we got them.
Oh, nice. So
come get them. I'll put one aside for you."
Yeah.
So,
Mugen, is that no? Got Bitcoin is who asked. So yeah. Wow, Mike, you guys play a lot. I'm not even going to look at my Godzilla Pro achievements, but I had a great 780 million. That's a good game.
That's a good score.
Yeah, that's a good score. That's better than my best. Yeah.
I mean, you know what I found with I've been playing for achievements on a lot of these games, and I found the best strategy is just play 4 or 5 games. Don't worry about the achievements. You're gonna get some of the easier ones. Then once you get those out of the way, then you're gonna look, and then that's where you're gonna start hunting, right? You pick a couple, and then you just focus on that in your next game, and so it's a different way to play the games.
And I will tell you, Turtles. Dwight the achievements that he's put into Turtles are no joke. I mean, they are like, I mean, you'll have the gimme of just like start a mode, start that mode, boom, you got it. Well, complete that mode, you got it. But then it's complete that mode in I think 30 seconds. So it's like and there's 8 modes in the game. So the fact that you're almost having to think through each one of these 8 modes, like what shots do I have to hit to complete this as quickly as possible? And then knowing I need to start that mode, trap up, hit the boom, boom, that is going to be a grind. And I'm excited. Like I am excited. And that's just that's just one part of the achievements that he's added for that.
It's going to extend the life of these games so much, I think over time. And I would agree there with one, was it Muggin for Life said they definitely need an app. It's very awkward to go into the Stern website every single time to log in. Once you're in there, though, I found logging on to the Insider Connect, like scanning your code, is weirdly satisfying when that goes in and the noise it makes. You wouldn't think that it should be a thing, but I'm always like, I just love logging in. I want to like keep logging in because I just love that
you want to hear
when
the
it comes in.
Boom.
Yeah, it feels
when you get the
and then
achievement,
seeing your name
sort of
come out.
sound.
Yeah. So they've done a great job with the sound effects and I don't know, just it's just the way the machine logs your profile in. The way they've done that, it's almost like hitting a shot on the machine. There's something weirdly satisfying about it. I don't know how to describe it.
I am enjoying it, and I think the framework and everything, it's nothing but potential. Like that's the thing. Even what they have right now is really good, but I'm really excited about it. I printed the QR code, taped it on the inside of my iPhone. Tommy, how you doing, buddy? That's Shadow McMuffin. Everybody, he streams for us on Saturdays. I just saved it. I took a screenshot and saved it as one of my favorite pictures. Yeah. But I know there's a lot of people talking about that. They're either printing it off on a piece of paper or they're like,
that's a good idea.
They're
gonna get it tattooed right here.
Get it tattooed. Yeah. I have my QR code on my home screen. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, put it on your Apple Watch. That's a great idea.
Apple Watch, that would make sense. Yeah, there's plenty of things you can do. But Well, if you look at the topics here on the screen, I just removed Lyman, and the reason being is we only have roughly 10, 15 minutes left in the stream. I mean, we crushed it tonight. But Lyman, I definitely think we need to go in or give him more time. So I don't want to rush that segment. But
Yeah.
really, my plan with talking about Lyman was just to not only talk about who he was as a person, but also, you know, looking at his the work that he has done. And Jordan here mentioned, you know, he's excited about Insider Connected with Batman and the achievements there. I mean, the depth that he would put in his games, like I almost feel like Lyman would, you know, crush these Insider
Yeah.
Connected achievements. You know, there's stuff that he's hidden in games that nobody sees, or people, you know, they don't veer off and see that. So like what Jordan's saying here, you know, it gives them a reason to play all the minor villains. Exactly. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people when they're playing Batman that they don't do that, but now you have reason to do that. So we will
Yeah.
definitely talk about Lyman, just not tonight.
And I think just to quickly touch on that again, Joel, because I would like to say just a couple of quick things.
Yeah,
Number
absolutely.
one, first and foremost, our heart goes out to everybody that was related to Lyman and his friends. Because obviously, when someone passes away, anytime it's difficult, but when someone passes away unexpectedly, obviously that is even more devastating. So there are tons of people in this industry and hobby right now that are affected by his passing. So, our hearts go out to all those folks. I think beyond that, though, when you're talking about, and I'm not trying to shift, callously here into talking about his profession, but when you talk about Lyman, the software designer or the coder, this is I can't this is a huge loss right now for the pinball industry as a whole
Yeah.
because Lyman, if you don't know who Lyman Sheets was, and I'm not sure how you can't if you like this hobby, but he was regarded as the one of the best, if not the best coder in this hobby for the past 25 years. And like someone was saying, he's only 55 with arguably many more years to go. He'd worked at all of the major pinball companies over the years, from Bally to Data East to Chicago Gaming, Williams, Stern. He was directly involved in making over 45 titles, many of which are considered some of the most beloved games again in this hobby. Everything from Medieval Madness, Monster Bash, Attack from Mars, Batman 66, The Walking Dead. I mean, the list goes on and on and on when you see the repertoire of games that he touched and influenced. And although he wasn't as prolific in recent years, most recently with Elvira's House of Horrors, um, and he was obviously working on the upcoming Cactus Canyon remake, at the time of his passing. Even though he was slowing down somewhat professionally, this is still a huge loss for the industry because I'm sure he would be still was a huge mentor and advocate for anything pinball behind the scenes. He was also an active competitive player. So I would say, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he would be in that elite group of what I would call pinball royalty right now,
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
the last 25 years. And I'd put people like Gary Stern, George Gomez, Keith Elwin, Jerry Thompson, Jack Guarnieri of Jersey Jack. I'd even put someone like Zombie Yeti, Steve Ritchie, Pat Lawler, John Borg, and Lyman Sheets is right there with all of these guys in terms of being an influencer and uh, just a major participant in this hobby that created so much joy for so many people and made these games really classics and unforgettable. So I don't think his departure from this earth, I don't think can be underestimated in terms of his influence while he was here, and his passing going forward will be felt, I think, for many many years to come.
Uh, I don't. Yeah, I could not say any of that better. That was
very well put.
that was great. And I see Jeff Pinball Profiles in here. I know Jeff knew him personally, and that's the thing. Yeah, it's amazing. I didn't know him. I didn't know him at all, but yet I feel a loss. Like, and it's clear that this is a loss as a person, and just to see what so many other people have posted and said online about the guy and who he was. Jordan saying here that just how humble of a dude he was. just as a person, I feel a loss that I never had a chance to meet the guy or
Yeah.
talk to him, talk to him or interview him or do anything like that with him, which is really sad. And then on top of that, just looking at his work, I mean, there are so many people that bought games, in Lyman We Trust. They bought games because they knew he was doing it. And even though, Batman didn't start off strong, they're like, we trust in Lyman. And he made an amazing game. Elvira House of Horrors he made an amazing game. And then Cactus Canyon, so many people, as soon as they learned that Lyman was adding his touch, to the game, people were like, all right, I'm in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sure people definitely threw in some orders just based on that for sure.
Yeah. So Jeff here, it doesn't matter if you knew him or not, appreciated by all, 100%. I don't know anybody that was like, I don't want that game, Lyman.
Yeah.
That's Lyman code. I don't do Lyman. It's like, nah. Yeah, it's awesome. I would
He
say
really
he
made
the games
something,
come-
the other thing that I found interesting about Lyman is that he really made, something like pinball code, which you'd think is quite an abstract and obscure sort of thing, but he really made the code of these games something that people really were able to focus on and understand. And he really understood how, the design and I guess the design of the software of these machines really help drive these machines and make the themes of their designs come to life, I think. And it's something that, every time a new machine comes out, it's like the second thing people talk about beyond the layout is the code, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about the code. It's like the layout gets it off the ground and the code breathes life and gives that machine longevity, and makes it something from just another pinball machine to really like a classic that people want to own for a long time, I think.
Well, it's interesting. Like when somebody says Batman 66, the first thing that comes to my head is Lyman. I don't think George Gomez. I think Lyman Sheets. But yet you throw out a game like, Godzilla, I think Keith Elwin. I'm not thinking about the coder. Now I understand Keith Elwin made the rules, but it's still like there are things like I love Raymond. We talked about this, Raymond and Timmy, but when somebody says Led Zeppelin, I don't think Raymond and Timmy. I think that's a holy cow, I can't think of the guy's name. Steve. What's his last
Steve
name?
Ritchie.
Richie. Holy crap. But I think designer, right? I mean, most of the time you're thinking designer, but like when you think of Elvira, you're not thinking of Dennis Nordman. You're thinking of Lyman, that is he dominates those games. So I don't even know who designed Walking Dead. I know Lyman made the game. Saul Hudson, John Borg. John Borg made Walking Dead. But Walking Dead, Lyman. It's like that's pretty incredible.
Lyman right now would probably be the one person if someone said, "Oh, there's a game being made. I know it's a Lyman coded game. I don't even care what the theme is. I don't care who's working on it. If I know Lyman's on the game, I'm gonna get it. Like I'm gonna put my order in for that game based on just him coding it. He was that good."
Yeah, well, that's I think, and it's the proof is in the pudding with Cactus Canyon. Like Cactus Canyon, the moment they announced that, people are bam, they're in. And I hope, I don't know how far along he was with his code for that. I hope it's I hope they weren't losing orders, or whatever. But it's I think that's exciting. What did he have in store there? And Jeff, you have a really good comment here. If you love someone or their work, please let them know. 100%. I think that's something as a society we don't do enough of. Sharing appreciation, and
and I agree. I agree 100% with Jeff and Joel. And I think the good news, if there is a silver lining, and I think you guys were talking about in your Triple Drain too, is that his legacy will definitely live on in his work, much like a musician. He's going to inspire others.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he already has, to pick up where he left off and carry that mantle going forward. And again, his work is out there to be played and enjoyed for many years to come, as long as pinball is still a thing in the future. And I don't see why it wouldn't be. So that's the good news in all that, is that his work will live on and can still be enjoyed. But it's a huge loss still for everybody.
100%. Yeah. What do we got? Top tier, Steve. Thanks for getting here. But yeah, we're just wrapping up here. I don't even think about Elvira. What do we got? I appreciate Mike, Tom, and thank you, Saul. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Saul.
Yeah. Cactus Canyon Remake just needs some more wizard modes. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. There are people that may not know. Sadly, Lyman had a struggle with mental illness and lost the. Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, which is sad, but
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's really unfortunate, especially if yeah. I mean, I hope he knew. I hope he knew how much people really loved him.
Yeah,
you know,
it was incredible to see the amount of outpouring and support on Facebook. Just seeing on all the social media platforms of everybody just pouring out support and thoughts and prayers for the friends and the family, and how he touched them in ways as people who haven't even met him, I mean, are posting about how much he meant to them, and he was incredible. He was amazing, an amazing player, an amazing coder, and had one of the best pinball stances of any player.
Yeah,
right?
You can't pass that. Jeff, I was not prepared for that. I did not know that's what, and that's just unfortunate. And it even reiterates your other comment even more. Make sure that people know how much you love them and care about them and appreciate what they're doing. Cause that sucks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what all was going on there, but I don't think he had any idea the impact he was making. And you can see that with just the outpouring of comments that are coming in from people in this hobby. So yeah, I've never owned a Lyman game, but I've played plenty and respect the heck out of what they are. And yeah, it's weird doing this type of stream, having a chance to have somebody like Raymond, who's making this game pop into chat. And I've had Dwight Sullivan on one of my streams before, and then doing the podcast, being able to interview some of these guys. And to be honest, I'm very bummed. I did not have a chance to talk to him in any of those capacities, but or just meet him at a show, that kind of thing. So Mugen. I don't remember. What was it, Mike? Mugen for life. Jeff, yes. Jeff, I appreciate you and your work and everything pinball related. Also, Mike, Joel, and Craig, you guys are great as well. Thank you. Yeah, and if you struggle with mental illness, you're not alone. Absolutely. That's one thing in this hobby. I don't think this hobby, like, there's so much love in this hobby. And, and I've never met Mike in person. I've never met Craig in person, but these are friendships that are, you don't have to meet. There's a lot of love in this hobby. And, yeah, anybody watching this, anybody in chat, reach out to any of us. We're all really willing to talk. And, yeah, just reach out to anybody but David Dennis. Don't talk to that guy. But, all right. Well, we do need to wrap it up. Here. So, plugs. I mean, I'll go ahead selfishly here. Pinball Profile, Jeff Teolis there in chat. Please, you guys anybody watching has to know chat. It has to know Jeff. But listen to Pinball Profile. Go back and listen to like all of the episodes. They're all good. And then
I listened to his last few episodes driving back from Montreal with the Rush pinball. It was great.
Oh yeah. No.
So many. The great thing about Jeff's stuff, beyond how well produced they are and how well written they are, is that you get a much better sense of all the different people and personalities in this hobby, and it's quite shocking and amazing at how many incredible people there are from all facets of life, and how we're all connected by the same love of this hobby,
yeah.
and these machines, and so I find them extremely interesting. So from everything from manufacturers to just everyday people, to competitive people. There's such a broad swath of people that enjoy this hobby, and his podcast does an incredible job of highlighting that.
Yeah, 1,000%. And final round is just a good time. So, feel free to listen to that as well. But what do we got? Jordan, great stream, fellows. Good to hear. Absolutely. Well, let's check this out real quick. Well, we'll do our plugs. We'll plug our sponsors first, and then we'll plug ourselves real quick. So plug ourselves. That sounds odd. Anyways, here are our sponsors. So Stern Pinball, we've been talking about them all night. You got some amazing pinball machines that they're releasing. So we really appreciate Stern for supporting the Pinball Network and encouraging us to continue to do that. Comet Pinball, if you need any sort of lighting of any kind, Ryan and the other people at Comet Pinball are awesome. Definitely reach out to them for their LEDs. Cannot recommend 2 SMD Sunlight. Those are, just buy those. That's all you need. Mezzo Mods, awesome mods. They got mods for everything. Yeah, check them out. Scorebit, they if you know, Insider Connect is basically bringing achievements in your pinball machine online. Scorebit will basically do every game, Stern included. I have a Scorebit in my TNA. They work great. Pinmonk, Victor Ireland is awesome. Pinmonk, he makes some really cool mods. He also does his flipper fans. He also has a replacement fan for your Stern games so that they're silent. Highly recommended.
A must have. You gotta have that one.
Speaker light kits. Doug at Speaker Light Kits is awesome. I have my speaker light kits in my Turtles here. I'll show that. Yeah, real quick. There you go. You can kind of see it right there. Those are the speaker light kits that I have in my Turtles. Highly recommend. Pinball photos is exactly what you think. They're really cool pinball photos that you can get printed out and stick them on your wall. Highly recommended. Zach and Nicole at Flipping Out. They are Indiana based, but they will ship you a game anywhere. So I see Got Bitcoin. You're looking for a Deadpool. Hit them up. Yeah, tell them we sent you. And yeah, Zach and Nicole are fantastic, and they will treat you right. And then lastly, Flawless Creations there. Jeremy does powder coating, and yeah, he is actually powder coating my Deadpool right now. So highly recommended. And then the other thing to roll through real quick is the calendar. So here we are on Wednesday. So Wednesday, we got Flipping Out. We're doing that right now. Thursday, tomorrow, we have Chuck and George, so check them out. Hup Challenge, Jordan and Becca on Friday. Jedi McMuffin on Saturday. Back up to the top with Fliptronic, Jordan and Becca on Sunday. Hottie at Frisco Pinball on Monday. And then Pinballers, Mike. We'll just go right into that. Mike, go ahead and plug away.
Well, you can check us out on Tuesday evenings, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on TPN. And aside from that, you can also check us out Monday and Friday afternoons right now, streaming on our Twitch channel, Pinballers. And other than that, you can check us out on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram.
Perfect. And Craig, plug.
Yeah, you can hear me doing the Stern News every week on the Pinball Show with Zach and Dennis, and that new episodes generally get put up on Mondays.
Perfect. And yeah, I'm Joel. I do Just Another Pinball podcast. I also do the Triple Drain podcast, Triple Drain Pinball podcast. We actually had a new one come out today. I do that with Travis and Tom. We actually recorded that last Sunday, so that's a lot of fun. Basically, 3 guys just giving each other a hard time for like an hour. It's awesome. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. And then I stream for Flipping Out, and I'm actually streaming tomorrow night. I will be streaming on the Flipping Out channel. And yeah, I think I'm going to stream Godzilla. Reason being is Godzilla's leaving very soon. Zach is actually picking Godzilla up and swapping it out for a Rush. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. Tom talked quite a bit the other night. Yes, yes, he did. But yeah, I think that's it for us. So really, closing thoughts are just the raid. Who are we going to raid? We either got IE Pinball, Colorado. So IE Pinball is playing Guns N' Roses. Colorado Pinball is playing Black Knight sort of raid. Hey, let's do that. We'll stick with some Timmy code here, some Timmy love. So let's try this.
Good game.
Yeah, let's see if I can actually figure out how to stream or to raid. We've battled this before.
Right? If you just type it in the /raid and then you just wait, it eventually just goes.
You got to do the Restream app. So this is where here we go. So /raid.
Yeah, you do it too.
And we do Colorado Pinball. Okay, I think, did I type it the right way? That's the question. We will know here if I do this. No, Black Sword of Rage is amazing. Yes. Is the raid happening? Yes, it is raiding.
Yeah, it'll just end at some point.
So there is. I'm looking at the bar as we've got probably a minute and a half before it shuts down. So, what do you guys want to talk about for a minute or a minute and a half?
Final thoughts on Rush?
Oh, we could final thoughts on Rush. We'll just go around.
Go ahead, Craig. In a nutshell, one sentence.
Tons of fun. It'll be way better than you think it will be.
Yeah. I have heard nothing but positive feedback. So I'm excited to shoot it. If you're telling me, I have turtles and John Borg kicks my butt all the time. So if you're telling me Rush is a little nicer, I'm in. That sounds great. And I will tell you, Led Zeppelin really grew on me because of the code. And if I think Raymond and Timmy have already earned our trust, and that's the thing that I know. I'm excited to see where the code's at. And Mike,
I've enjoyed playing it for the day or so that I've had it. I'm looking forward to playing some more. The code is great, and I just can't wait to see what else they have in store for the game.
Perfect. And I think the raid just went through, so we are good to go, gentlemen. Right. Just close out the video. I appreciate you two. Thanks a ton for being on here.
Thanks for having me again.
That was great, Joel.
Absolutely. Like I said, Rush, my Canadian correspondent. So you got it. All right. Well, we'll shut it down. Again, if anybody's watching this on YouTube, feel free to do this live every Wednesday or every other Wednesday, 10 to midnight Eastern Standard Time. So